Welcome back to our deep dive book series on iconic management ideas. Today, we're exploring one of the most influential business books of the last 2 decades, Good to Great by Jim Collins. Let me start with a simple but powerful question. Why do some companies make the leap from good to truly great, while most others stay stuck in mediocrity or fade away entirely? Jim Collins and his research team spent 5 years, screened 1,435 companies, and eventually identified 11 organizations that achieved something extraordinary. They performed at average or mediocre levels for at least 15 years. Then suddenly, and consistently, they outperformed the stock market by at least 3 times for another 15 years. This wasn't luck. It wasn't a miracle moment. It was a pattern any company and any individual can apply. Today, we'll break down that pattern step by step. Welcome to the journey from good to great. Section 1. The Good to Great Framework. Collins found that every good to great company followed the same transformation path. 1. Level 5, Leadership. 2. First, who, then what. 3. Confront the brutal facts. 4. The Hedgehog Concept. 5. A culture of discipline. 6. Technology accelerators. 7. The Flywheel, the force that turns small pushes into explosive momentum. Think of this as a staircase. One step leads naturally to the next, and at the top, you don't just create a profitable company, you create a great one. Let's climb that staircase, starting with one of the most misunderstood ideas in modern leadership. Section 2. Level 5, Leadership. Collins discovered something almost shocking. None of the good to great companies were led by celebrity CEOs. No charismatic superstars, no media darlings. Instead, their leaders shared 2 seemingly opposite qualities. 1. Personal humility. Level 5 leaders are quiet, modest, self-effacing. They avoid the spotlight. They rarely talk about themselves. If success comes, they credit the team, luck, the environment, or anyone else except themselves. They're the opposite of flashy entrepreneurs. Often, you wouldn't notice them in a room. 2. Professional will. But behind that modest exterior is an unshakable steel core. Level 5 leaders make brutally tough decisions, focus relentlessly on long-term results, accept full responsibility when things go wrong. Collins describes them like this. They look out the window to give credit. They look in the mirror to take blame. This unique combination, humility plus fierce resolve, is what ignites greatness. Section 3. First who, then what. Most leaders ask, what's our strategy? But good to great companies ask, who should be on the bus? Only after they have the right people do they decide where to drive the bus. This concept is incredibly simple and incredibly powerful. Or why focus on who first? Because when you have the right people, they don't need to be forced or micromanaged. They naturally take responsibility. They adapt when strategy changes. They are internally driven, not externally controlled. And when you have the wrong people, no strategy in the world can save you. The 3 rules. The research uncovered 1. When in doubt, don't hire. Keep looking. A seat filled by the wrong person is worse than an empty seat. 2. When you know someone is not right, act quickly but kindly. Good to great companies did not procrastinate. 3. Put your best people on the biggest opportunities, not the biggest problems. Greatness comes from maximizing upside, not firefighting all day. And this idea alone can transform an organization. But people alone aren't enough, because people still need reality. And that leads us to the next discipline. Section 4. Confront the brutal facts. Stockdale Paradox. Every good to great company shares a cultural habit. They face reality directly, honestly, fearlessly. They don't sugarcoat. They don't hide bad numbers. They don't punish messengers of truth. They build a culture where the truth is heard. The Stockdale Paradox. This principle comes from Admiral James Stockdale, who survived 8 years as a prisoner of war. When asked, "Who didn't make it?" he replied, "The optimists. Those who kept saying, 'It'll be over by Christmas, by Easter, by Thanksgiving,' eventually died from broken hope." Stockdale's insight: you must maintain unwavering faith that you will prevail in the end, and at the same time confront the brutal facts of your current reality. Good to great companies live in this paradox. They believe deeply in eventual success, but they refuse to lie to themselves on the journey there. Section 5. The Hedgehog Concept. This is the beating heart of good to great. Collins uses the ancient metaphor of the fox and the hedgehog. The fox knows many things. The hedgehog knows one big thing, and executes it flawlessly. Great companies are hedgehogs, not foxes. They simplify their entire strategy into one piercing, crystal-clear concept. The hedgehog concept is the intersection of 3 circles, circle 1. What can you be the best in the world at? Not what you want to be good at, not what you hope to be good at, but what you can truly become world-class at. If you cannot be the best at it, stop doing it. Circle 2. What drives your economic engine? There is always one financial denominator that matters most: profit per X. For different companies, the X might be profit per store, profit per customer, profit per employee, profit per product line. Identifying the right X creates focus. Circle 3. What are you deeply passionate about? Not what looks profitable, not what the industry says is hot, but what you genuinely care about, what energizes you, what you'd still want to do 10 years from now. Hedgehog concept equals the intersection of all 3. It's not a burst of genius. It's not a sudden aha moment. It emerges slowly through discussion, reflection, and experimentation. Once discovered, it becomes the core compass for all decisions. Section 6. A culture of discipline. Great companies don't need layers of bureaucracy, endless rules, micromanagement, or constant supervision. Why? Because they have disciplined people who engage in disciplined thought, leading to disciplined action. This is where First Who and Hedgehog concept combine. When you have the right people, you don't need to control them. You just need to give them clarity and the freedom to act within that clarity. The organization becomes incredibly focused, not rigid, but intentional. Equally important, the stop doing list. Good to great companies are excellent at saying no. They stop. Side projects, distracting opportunities, ideas that don't fit the hedgehog concept, activities that dilute focus. Discipline is not about doing more. It's about doing less, but doing it perfectly. Section 7. Technology Accelerators. One of the most surprising findings of the research: technology did not cause greatness, it amplified it. Great companies were selective, not reactive. They didn't adopt new technologies out of fear. They also didn't resist them out of stubbornness. They simply asked, does this technology help us accelerate our hedgehog concept? If yes, they invested heavily. If no, they ignored the trend. Technology is not the engine of transformation, it's the accelerator. Section 8. The Flywheel versus the Doom Loop. We arrive at one of the most beautiful metaphors in business. The flywheel. Imagine pushing a giant, heavy flywheel. At first, it barely moves. 1 push, 2 pushes, 3 pushes, still slow. But you keep pushing, consistently, patiently, always in the same direction. Eventually, the flywheel begins to turn, then faster, until one day, Momentum takes over. The company looks unstoppable. But here's the key. There is no single defining moment, no big program, no miracle breakthrough, just cumulative progress, push after push. This is how greatness is built. The doom loop. In contrast, many mediocre companies look like this. New CEO, new strategy, new vision, new turnaround program, quick pivot, disappointment, another new strategy, and the cycle continues. There is no momentum, no consistency, no compounding effect, just chaos. The flywheel creates greatness. The doom loop destroys it. Section 9. What good to great is not. Collins clarifies several misconceptions. 1. It's not about instant success. Good to great transformations took 10 to 15 years. 2. It's not about superstar CEOs, it's about level 5 leaders. 3. It's not about dramatic revolutions, it's about steady, disciplined, compounding improvement. 4. It's not only for large corporations. The principles apply to small businesses, teams, non-profits, and even personal careers. Greatness is a choice, not a privilege. Section 10. Practical takeaways for viewers. For business owners, leaders, or creators watching this video, here are 5 reflection questions. 1. Do you have the right people on the bus? 2. What brutal facts do you need to confront right now? 3. What might your personal hedgehog concept be? 4. What should go on your stop doing list? 5. What small push can you add to your flywheel today? Greatness is not about intensity, it's about consistency. Conclusion. Greatness is a choice. Jim Collins ends the book with a profound statement. Greatness is not a function of circumstance. Greatness, it turns out, is largely a matter of conscious choice and discipline. The path from good to great is not easy. It's not quick. But it is achievable for any team and any individual who is willing to live the principles: humility, discipline, focus, truth, long-term commitment. Thank you for joining today's deep dive into Good to Great. If you found this valuable, make sure to follow this series. Our next episode will explore another classic that shaped modern business thinking. See you in the next video.